Greetings, Cauldron of Weird. Welcome back. I just wanted to do a little update after the supporter summit for Columbus Crew. This is a Save the Crew update, and we are going to be delving into that madness. Okay, so welcome back. So, for those of you who do not know, the Supporters Summit is a meeting that season ticket holders get to have with usually members of front office. And this year it featured Andy and Andy from the front office. Forgive me, I don't know how to say his last name. And they had Greg Berhalter, the sporting director / head coach. And I was there. I was in the third row of it. And let's be very, very genuine and clear, and let's just be brutally honest about this. Berhalter was being very genuine and open and forthcoming with us is the word I'll use. Now, our front office, I can't say quite the same thing about. Everything that they were feeding us is basically a moved goalpost kind of move. From what they're saying. Well, we need a stadium. Oh, well, we can't get stadium without corporate sponsors. Without the corporate sponsors, we can't get a loan for a stadium. So, everything they're saying is basically feeding into their own narrative that no one seems to believe. And rightfully so. I even asked the question, I was like, they were saying, like, how much they were spending and how much they were bleeding money. And it was kind of a shocking thing for me. Mostly for the single fact that, how can you honestly complain about losing $30 million if you're a sports owner? If $30 million makes or breaks you as an owner, you don't have the right to own a team. And I think that's crazy to me. $30 million, that's it. There's some people that blink at the idea of losing $30 million. Like, at least those in the sports ownership business. It's like, it's incredibly frustrating to watch our front office, jerk us around and just sit here and continuously feed us the lies and the bullshit narrative that they've been feeding us since this all started. And when the whole thing started off, the first thing that was asked was, did you know about the move in the summer? Well, our front office rep decided not to answer that. It's crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy to me. And, there were some very telling moments of this. They made it very clear that Anthony Precourt is in no way, shape, or form interested in selling the team. I think that should be very eye-opening, and I think that Crew fans need to know that. Obviously, the whole meeting got a little heated in a lot of instances, and rightfully so. I'm heated about it. There are other people that are pretty heated about all this. It sucks. It fucking sucks. And no one wants to lose their team here. But, sometimes that's just going to be the way it goes. Especially in American sports culture. Higuain has done an interview since saying, where if they did this in his native country of Argentina, you'd be killed. End of story. You would probably be killed for that. So, enough of that, though. More of the meeting, a very common question last night was, what can we do? what can we do as fans to try and help? You know, because Save the Crew erected 5 billboards around town within weeks of the whole announcement. And when you haven't seen a billboard, hardly an ad, hardly a radio ad for years with the Crew, you know, it's kind of interesting to think, why does the guy that's doing Save the Crew, who barely has any funding and trust fund baby Precourt, can't afford to spend money to make money? All of it just sounds like they're posturing themselves and positioning themselves as, oh, we can't afford to stay here. We just can't afford to stay here. When that's just inherently not true. It'd be one thing if they were even fucking trying. But they aren't trying. They're sitting here and they're feeding us this bullshit narrative while they have Greeley down in Austin, Texas, continuing to try and push to steal that city's fucking parkland, which is a joke. That's an absolute joke. Because, for real, you know, Austin isn't one that wants to lose their parks. They're a very active city. And, you know, they're saying it like, you know, they're saying it like the area the stadium is currently in is the worst area that it could possibly be in. Now, road-wise, sure, I can understand why they think that this is. And they did give us a little insight as to the challenges they have as the team, you know, with scheduling. And, you know, I get it. You have to work around the fair. You have to work around the Ohio Quarter The Ohio Quarter Horse Congress. But, you know, that's no reason for things to be the way they are. It's just kind of ridiculous. I really hate this bullshit narrative they keep feeding us. That they're running out of options. They aren't. They aren't trying. And one thing that they said that really clues me into that they aren't trying is that they said there have been 0 conversations between the city of Columbus and Anthony Precourt. And the city laid it all on the line. They already said, yeah, here's our spots. Here's our locations. And either you can live with these locations. I mean, they offered to give the land, 40 acres of land to Anthony Precourt for the stadium in the area that's just beyond the baseball stadium in Columbus. And it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. 40 acres of land for free. It's just silly. And, they keep pushing this and they keep pushing it. It's not going to go the way they want it to go if they keep going in this direction. Honestly, what needs to happen is Anthony Precourt needs to just tuck tail, sail the goddamn team. That's it. He needs to cut his losses, tuck tail, and sell the team. Because as I stated earlier, if you are in a make-or-break situation because as a sports owner, you have lost $30 million, you are in the wrong goddamn business. Like, that's a ridiculously low amount of money. I bet the Cavaliers wish they weren't spending, or wish they were only losing $30 million a year. It's just ridiculous, you know. I guarantee that the Blue Jackets aren't making the money, aren't doing too much different from what the Crew are doing. I mean, both teams average about $14,000 a game, if that, for the Blue Jackets. Granted, I get it. It's a different league. It's a different sport. It's a different popularity level. But as good as the attendance has been, considering as bad as the marketing has been, and especially if you compare attendance percentages and attendance per capita, you know, their narrative just doesn't flow well. Everything they've said to us has been a complete distortion of the truth. And I do not expect it to change. I do not expect them to let up. And we are going to have to fight with everything we have if we want to save the Crew. So follow Save the Crew on Facebook, on Twitter. Follow Morgan Hughes, who is the leader of the supporters. I guess the de facto leader. But follow them. Follow Degenerate T-Bone on Twitter. You know, local ESPN radio guy who has better access to stats and numbers. He does a lot of Save the Crew stuff. Find the facts out. Because if you start looking into the facts, the shit that Don Garber and Anthony Precourt are pushing just do not make sense. And that's just the fact. What Don Garber and Anthony Precourt and Greeley have been saying is bullshit. And if they put a single solitary fucking effort into this city, they would see a return. The Blue Jackets have put in an effort. And look at them. They're doing great now. They've been on a whole new level. People are wanting to come to the games. People are watching. People are listening. People are buying the merchandise. You are seeing billboards and advertisements all over the place. If Precourt Sports Ventures was as dedicated as the McConnell family, we would have no problem. There would be no effort to be moving them to Austin. And we would be in a great position. We would just be getting ready for the season. We wouldn't have to be worrying about, oh, is my team about to be moved? It's just so stupid. And I hate that we are at the center of this. But with turmoil comes opportunity. And if we can pull this off, that would be an incredible thing where the grassroots is making a comeback. A grassroots effort actually goes and does what it's supposed to do and saves this team and fights the establishment millionaire who's trying to rip something out from under them. And without this sounding, you know, too political, because I can understand where it might, this is about what is rightfully ours. This team does not belong to Precourt. He may be the owner, but this team does not belong to him. It belongs to us. It belongs to the fans. And we are not going to stop fighting until this is all over. Until we save this team. Or until we fail and they move. And if they do, then they have completely devastated their trust in the... Let me rephrase. if they remove this team, that shakes the entire league's fan base. I mean, the 3 stars on the crest will mean nothing. Club, country, community. The community part will mean nothing. Why would you have that as your star and then try to undermine the first team in MLS? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous what they're doing. And I don't frankly blame the fans for getting in the front office members' faces last night. End of story. That's basically what it comes down to. It sounds like our front office is hardly even trying. And they're pushing this narrative that they've been trying so hard for 5 years. And, it's just the fans and the corporate sponsorships and all this and that, and they don't want to try themselves. That's pretty much it. They're too busy trying to find houses in Austin. But at the end of the day, what we know at this point is we have a lot of work to do. And I'm not going to stop fighting until I can't fight anymore. So with that being said, thanks for watching. Thank you for listening to me ramble for a while. Ooh. Yeah. Thanks for listening to me ramble for a while on this. And thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. Save the crew.